Salutashana 2. Greetings, how are you? I got something good for y'all. We're going to hang around for a few minutes. If you got to go, come back and listen to it. It's brought to my attention that my target audience is the young people, preferably under 30, because after 30, you're pretty much set in your ways. You don't have an independent mind. And then it brought to my attention that, my generation, the one up grew up in the area of revolution where everything was changing. It wasn't set, things was changing. So the people who grew up knew the way things were before the change came. That was the last generation where people really knew how to think for themselves. Now, everything has got most of the people, especially over 40, so conditioned, not say over 40, let's say under 20, under 30, really under 30. Because this revolution started in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It took about a generation for them to bring it out. So by the year 2000, the powers that be, the ruling class, had everything in place to keep anyone from falling through the cracks. What I mean by that? I mean that by the year 2000, they had eliminated any possibility of the generation coming up to actually learn how to think for themselves, how to be independent minded. This program, this propaganda and programming came from the schools, especially the TV, and the music. The music was really a source of programming because there was nothing about love in the music. So they grew up with this trauma. They grew up with this trauma. So if you was born in the 90s, you grew up with trauma whether you knew it or not. So now that you're grown, you actually you're actualizing the trauma that you experienced as a youth, but you don't know what it is. You think it's life because the parents didn't know to teach you, and you had no way of learning that you really are being controlled in every possible way. That's why people like Trump is hated, because he exercised his First Amendment rights of free speech, no matter who it offends. I don't agree with a lot of things he said. He's not my president. But I can understand why he's hated so much. Because anytime you stand up for what you really believe, that's going against the programming, because everybody's supposed to be believing the same thing by the year 2000. There should be no independent thinkers out there. That's the point I'm getting at. Independent thinking was supposed to be eliminated. That was the whole this thing took hundreds of years. This didn't just happen in 20 or 30 years in one person's lifetime. These things were started way, way back. It intensified under Woodrow Wilson in 1913. So he laid out a blueprint for them to follow after his death. And before it was a 2030 agenda, It was the 2000 agenda. And I've seen it. And it said that by the year 2000, light would have been removed from the eyes of every child such that they would not even recognize the light when it's shown to them. It's not their fault. The parents who grew up in the 50s, they didn't know nothing about the revolution, how it started, what it was before. They don't know what it was before integration. They don't know how we had our own communities, how we came together and loved each other and would unify with each other. We wasn't fighting each other. We was not killing each other. They know nothing about that. So the so-called black people have become imitations of white people. White people kill each other, so black people start killing each other. Everything you see us doing now is a model of what we were taught. This is not who we are. And it's easy to see just in the head, what you carry on your head. In the 60s, up to a certain point, women was proud to wear their natural hair. Natural hair. That was a sign of beauty. And they wore it proudly. The brothers too. We call it the fro. But then they removed that. And now, 40 years later, women are proud to wear somebody else's hair. Straight hair, blonde hair, weave hair. Hair that really has been cursed. So you see what has happened over the years? People just become roboticized. They don't even know they're out of their minds. They don't even know they're out of their mind. And I make these videos a lot of times to make sure I keep my mind. I'm not going to be crazy like everybody else. And people like me are isolated. See, that's the programming. They do not want you to talk to people like me. And so you're afraid because they tell you, oh, you're going to go to hell. You're going to be in prison. So their fear has kept you from even wanting to learn anything. It's fear. Just pure and simple. And that fear has made you an enemy to yourself. You're your own worst enemy. I'm not your enemy. Because anytime you do not want to learn and you distrust the elders as if they don't know nothing, it's over. It's over for you. Ain't nobody can help you. So I'm just here talking to myself because I enjoy hearing the voice of reason. So I'm showing before you the laws that we have in place to put everything in check, to correct all the things they have been doing to us. But who I'm a teacher to? Who wants to learn? People have become real lovers of slavery. If you love going on a job, somebody telling you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, I'm really not talking to you because you're beyond help. Yeah, I did that when I was young. I had jobs, but I never enjoyed people telling me what to do. But see, if you start off in school, not being taught by your own teachers, taught by foreigners, friendship with foreigners, you can't help but become like them, afraid of your own people. That's why they say, whoever you run with, you become like. So I'm glad I grew up, didn't have no white friends. I'm so happy because none of those attitudes against my people infected my youth. So I tell you what you can do. You can pray in your own privacy, pray for guidance and help to come out of this matrix that you have put yourself in. That I won't say you put yourself in, the society has put you in it, but you maintain it because you don't know anything else. When you know better, you do better. But you got to take a leap. You got to just jump out the box. You know, I did that I was 14. Let me tell you, and I was adopted, living with some of my kin folks, and I just told her I want to leave. I want to go back to my parents, my mom and father. Yeah, I just told her I wanted to go. Just felt like it's something I had to do. So you got to listen to the voice of God in you. I never regret any decision I made. And every decision I've made have taken me closer to being who I am today. And I'm so thankful that I listened to the voice of God in me. I'm not going to prolong this video. I think I've said what I need to say. Peace and love.